Okay, let's just get started here. A few people are joining. Yeah, just doing another live stream AMA session here for about 30 minutes. Appreciate the people joining and anybody who watches this afterwards. Appreciate your interest in what we're trying to build with Glow. So yeah, for anybody new who's coming to our work and exploring what we're doing, we're basically building the anti-poverty version of the dollar. So the Glow dollar is a stable coin that's fully reserved. It's backed by 100% reserve of US dollars or very short term US treasuries. It's very similar to the models of USDC and Tether, backed centralized type of stablecoin. Now, the difference is we're launching as a nonprofit. We want to donate all the interest income on the collateral to an organization called Give Directly. They support basic income programs for people in extreme poverty. We really want to scale up the solution around basic income and extreme poverty. I personally believe basic income at that level of income in terms of the bottom 10% of the world is very, very powerful and impactful. Give Directly is doing a really good job of it on the ground, making a huge impact. And we think tying a nonprofit stablecoin to a mission like that is both something we really want to rally around as a social movement. At the same time, the scalability of money, the idea of growing the market cap, growing the adoption of the Glow dollar leads to a big impact in terms of actually solving the problem of extreme poverty. So a couple of things, like we like throwing around some numbers around like what is the scale of this. And for the individual, we estimate that if you buy approximately $18,000 of the Glow stablecoin, and this isn't a donation, it's just basically buying and holding a stablecoin, over 1 year, the interest earned on that collateral supporting its value will lift one person out of extreme poverty. And that's about $480 of income generated. So we're trying to build this passive philanthropy model where just by using this form of dollars, it generates an income stream that we can help support programs around alleviating extreme poverty. So it's a very scalable model in terms of trying to solve this big problem in the world. We're going to be launching Ethereum, Polygon. Right now, we're doing some internal testing. We're working towards a very robust and compliant implementation to get to a public availability. And that has slowed down a little bit, but we're making sure we're finding the right partners and building it out the right way. We're thinking long-term here. So we want to make sure we're doing everything today that is really strong in terms of building the trust for the community, but at the same time, adapting to the regulatory environment and having a strong implementation that is going to be robust to changes in the future. So that's a lot of work, and I appreciate the team for helping work through all those issues and challenges. It has been in the last few weeks, pretty wild kind of environment in terms of operating and building in the crypto space. But I'm optimistic we'll work through the challenges and get to some solutions that we can really believe in, because I think we want to get to market as soon as possible to kind of show our impact and show the model and prove this model out, because it has such potential to make an impact in this world. So I think it's a really good story for crypto overall as well. A couple other things we're working on lately. We launched an early adopter program on our website. You'll see pictures of people who have signed up to be early adopters. Basically, you go through our website, sign up with their email, your LinkedIn or Twitter, basically just intending to purchase Glow when we're more publicly available. You don't have to buy anything today, but it's basically saying, hey, I want to be part of this project, I want to adopt Glow early. There's no requirements about what you buy in the future. It's just basically indicating that you're going to be a supporter. We're already up to about 150 people that have signed up. We have, I think, in this past week, signed up about 40-some people. So we just launched this a few weeks ago, and it's starting to ramp up in the growth. So I really appreciate the community showing early support around what we're trying to accomplish. I know it's an interesting kind of implementation of a nonprofit. So I really appreciate in terms of getting into the weeds, understanding what we're trying to accomplish, and people who have experience in crypto know kind of like the importance of this type of product in the ecosystem. So spreading the word, getting new people involved, that's all really helpful. And yeah, we appreciate it so much. So that's great. Internally, we're still working hard, kind of figuring out the go-to market strategy. And we know it's a competitive market. We think DAOs are a really good potential place to get early market cap as well. So we have early adopters showing interest and wanting to support us early. And then I think DAOs that hold treasuries, hold stablecoins in their treasuries, would be a good place to gain some early market cap growth. And we're doing a lot of outreach there. So if anybody's involved in the DAO communities, definitely reach out. We want to, pitch through our story, associate with your ideas and projects. And I think we can kind of get aligned in terms of what we're trying to accomplish with our mission, building a trustful and really secure stablecoin, and see how it aligns with treasury management and all those things. So yeah, if you're part of DAOs, I'm sure we'll reach out to you. But if you see this and you're like, oh yeah, you want to think about holding the Glow stablecoin in a treasury and you're part of the proposals and all those things, that'd be super helpful for us to talk to you. Yeah, and then internally too, we're building out the organizational capacity here. Like we brought on some early team members on legal, operations, finance. Super helpful there. Like we're getting closer to being audit ready for Big Four accounting. Like we want to have a very trusted model in terms of how people view us as an organization, and that's part of the nonprofit story as well. Building our capacity to fundraise and find partnerships that support the nonprofit organization part of this endeavor. So lots to work on, and we're making some good progress. I'm really excited about what we're building and the team we have. So yeah, if there's any questions over the next 20 or so meetings, I'll just kind of answer anybody's questions through the chat feature here. But yeah, it's just open 20 minutes, and feel free to ask anything. Yeah, question here. Are there any parts of the world where we are seeing more people getting involved than others? That's interesting. We are initially going to be in the US in terms of launching, but that doesn't mean we'll be in places where people can buy it, just not directly from us. I think I've gotten some interest from Latin America in terms of people building products that utilize stablecoins, especially on their payment side of things. So I do see that as a potential early market in terms of empowering other people building in this space. And our mission aligns really well with the challenges they see, like access to finance and using blockchain and stablecoins as basically a settlement layer for a broader adoption of digital payments. So that's really exciting. We have people, working on our team in Europe. And I think there's a lot of good connections there. I know there's a lot of people in crypto building out of Europe as well. So we're seeing some early traction in that area. But yeah, it's a lot of, our team is pretty global in terms of where we operate. So it's not one specific place, but I can tell there are places like, wow, this could help us in our country, and they want to get involved. So that's really useful. All right, question from Jim. Yeah, any plans creating educational materials for decentralized investment opportunities around AMMs? Yeah, that's interesting. No plans specifically around using DeFi, automated market makers, but that's a good idea. I think there could be some interesting ways. Hopefully, people in the ecosystem. I would like to make an ask of the community. If you're interested in those things and you want to use like Glow as an example in a tutorial, in some type of I don't know, something that shows like how do you leverage a stable coin as somebody new to this industry. And there's all kinds of DeFi protocols out there where you could lend it and earn some interest. You can use it for different types of loans, just using it for payments, all those things. I think we could build out some materials on just the adoption and utility of stablecoins in the crypto ecosystem. I hope over time we see it more broad kind of adoption in traditional financial applications. But yeah, that's a good question. I think this is when we get the capacity to add more to that space and kind of build the utility and tutorials, I would definitely consider this. But if there's anybody in the community that wants to reach out and create tutorials and want to use Glow as an example, I would love to talk with those ideas. So Appreciate that question. Yeah, so good question. I want to just mention the yeah, this is the question from Seth here. It has been a couple big months of crypto. The biggest kind of change, especially in the US, we had the Silvergate Bank going under, and then Signature Bank was also halted by the regulators as part of the Silicon Valley Bank issues. Um, yeah, so not going to lie, those are big challenges to the US crypto ecosystem. A lot of the custody providers, the services in crypto used both Silvergate and Signature. We did not use those two banks directly, but potential partners have. There are a lot of options out there. It's just the comfort level with certain types of transactions in crypto is becoming, um, something regulators are having a stronger eye on. And I think the benefit here is we're getting more clarity from some of these enforcements around how regulators see different business practices. And the way I feel it is if you're doing things the right way, those are the examples that the regulators are going to say, yes, that looks right. That's a very clear use case. There's no, there's no hidden business processes that could have too much risk. We saw like a traditional bank have a bunch of risk and fail, and then that was tied to Circle's reserves. But I think this is bringing to the attention before things get really, really bad, potentially, of like the issues that could potentially happen, and then we can solve from today, and then have a stronger system in the future. So, yeah, it's the big takeaway for me is it's more, big challenges, kind of frustrations around some of the risk management in the banking system, but I don't see that as directly tied to crypto. It's just another business that was part of this. Um, I'm a little worried about the regulatory environment, but I think the optimism I feel is we're going to have more clarity moving forward, and people are going to be building products and business models that are much more straightforward, much more in line with regulations, and there'll be less risk taking, which should give us more confidence in the future. So, yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to even more clarity from some of these larger organizations. But it's it's I think we're getting to the right. The challenges. Sometimes you wish the U.S. would just be a lot more flexible, but I don't anticipate everything getting shut down to an extreme level. It's more about working through the different details and making sure everybody's taking the right risk management type of processes. But it's really kind of just a very fluid environment to work through. So yeah, with the stablecoin market overall, that's a good question. It's interesting. Stablecoins, I feel like we're on the verge of a lot more adoption over the next couple of years, and we're seeing other companies build products around stablecoins. Banks are looking at issuing stablecoins, using them as a kind of depository tool. I think it's all really positive for us. I don't view the space as something that's, um, going to be overly saturated. I think we're going to all have the ability to build products on stable coins that create a lot of utility and value. Now, our positioning versus other stable coins, I think, is a really strong differentiator. So I hope just us existing is going to push the industry in a way that they're like, oh, we have to be as trusted. We have to have some type of broader mission around the company. And maybe the nonprofit issuing type of organization is part of that story. So I think it's all good signs when people are inventing new stable coins and trying to use blockchain and crypto for a lot more than just the speculative aspects of things. So it's going to keep pushing the industry into a more traditional light, and I think regulators will see how important stable coins are and using crypto as a settlement layer. So this is all really positive for me, and it just kind of emphasizes our community, what we do, how we market, and kind of building excitement around our mission is going to be our biggest differentiator. And I get pretty excited about competing in this space in that sense. I think there's a lot of room to compete and kind of capture the market share of stablecoins. To me, it's a very small market still, and there's a lot of market to capture with just the incumbents. So yeah, but it's kind of interesting to see how people perceive the usefulness of stablecoins and how people are entering with different types of products. Yeah, so a question about centralized exchanges in the future, market makers, or like decentralized exchanges. Yeah, so think of the stages here. We'll get publicly available. We'll be available on the Uniswap, Curve, decentralized, automated market maker type of DeFi products. That's a very popular path to take in terms of getting a new token in the space. But yeah, we do continue to build relationships in the centralized exchange world. I think that's going to get us to a place where access to customers is going to be a lot more broader. Like there are crypto native people that are very comfortable trading on decentralized exchanges, but there's a whole audience and customer base on the centralized exchange world that we want to tackle. So yeah, we're talking to a lot of different centralized exchanges. Obviously, there's a couple of key ones like Coinbase in the US would be a really good partner and give us a lot of access to potential customers. But yeah, I think getting early traction, grow the market cap, have the early adopters really support us and show some of these centralized exchanges our early traction is going to be a really good case for them to want to work with us in terms of listing on their exchanges. Yeah, so another question from Jim. So bridges to many blockchains. Now we're starting with Ethereum, Polygon, but yes, there is a general idea that we'll be on many more chains in the future. We're not going to rush into other chains. And bridges are an interesting thing. We'll want to make sure we're on chains that support bridges that are very, very secure. And we're seeing some innovations around, you could do a burn and mint between chains. And we're talking to some partners around that type of model where it's a safer type of management of supply on different chains rather than a wrapped bridge type of setup. So yes, I think I'm excited about, Ethereum, kind of the default. I'm excited about what Polygon is building and how they're growing. I think Optimism is doing interesting things. Stellar is a good setup. Avalanche, like all those are getting traction in certain places. So we'll explore those things, but we'll stay focused on getting launched on Ethereum and Polygon right now. But yeah, I want to be as accessible as possible because that just keeps, anywhere we get market cap, the more people we can lift out of extreme poverty through our mission. So there's no reason not to explore these and be ambitious. Yeah, I did want to mention, I know some people met us. We were at ETH Denver. That was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people in the space, and the event was absolutely huge. So in terms of like, we're in this bear market in crypto, everybody says, but when you go to an event like that, you get pretty energized around all the innovation, how much excitement's out there about all the things that are being built in this space. I really, seeing the social, like the crypto for good people there, which we align with, very easily. That was great. I think that's our space, and we want to really build that association with the whole crypto ecosystem. And yeah, it's like Giveth was there, Gitcoin, and there's a lot of different innovations around payment options, like all the ZK sync and ZK implementations. All those things are great. Like I'm just really optimistic about what everybody's building. Uh, yeah, and there's so many. I think those are the biggest ETH Denver ever. So there's no one. Those type of communities that are building are just getting bigger. So I'm pretty optimistic about building solutions within the crypto industry. And I think over time we're going to see just traditional finance leverage these things a lot more. So yes, I agree. Slow and steady seems the best way forward. Build in the bear market is definitely true. Yeah, and I'll mention too, we did that was in February. We did do a team offsite in Singapore, which was super exciting. We added some recent team members. Everybody was able to join, except for one person, but they joined virtually during our sessions. But yeah, it was great to just work together in person. A lot of planning for the year, a lot of excitement. There's going to be just a lot of work to do and a lot of challenges, but it seems like we have the team in place to execute on what we want to try to accomplish. We're a team of 16 people, and we have like all the pieces in place to execute in a trustworthy way, compliant way. We have a marketing team that is really making a lot of traction in terms of building awareness and excitement. The technical team has been outstanding in terms of smart contracts, building the platform, all that stuff. We've accomplished a lot in the last 6 months. So kind of Singapore was the place where, I felt that energy and kind of confidence that we can actually execute on these ideas. So yeah, there's a question like dream early adopter. Can we only pick one here? Probably Vitalik. Might as well pick him. We're launching on Ethereum initially too, so that story aligns. Plus, I know there's a whole using Ethereum in an entirely decentralized fashion, but I think Vitalik will align with our mission quite well. So that'd be pretty exciting to get his support. So yeah, if I can pick one, let's go with that one. But there's a lot of people we want support from, and I appreciate, even if you're not famous, like, it's just like it's super helpful just to talk to friends about, think like this is the first time money leads to like a social impact. There's other products out there. Patagonia gives their profits to charity around climate change, but money is this. Everybody uses it. We use it every day. It's a huge part of our existence. Rethinking like the choice around what money do I use or what kind of technology do I use around making payments and holding value. So I think we have a really interesting way to kind of shape the narrative around money and how it can give back to society overall. Yeah, so I think from this last quarter, just kind of reemphasizing the team, building out the key people on the team to let us execute our mission and get this to market. Over the next quarter, we want to keep growing awareness with the early adopters, doing the outreach on DAOs. We need to build the capacity to fundraise, build the strength and robustness of a nonprofit organization. That's really important. And then get Glow into the market and widely publicly available. And I want to focus on that as like a very, very trusted, compliant, robust implementation in this regulatory environment. So we're not taking an easy route here. We're focusing on the more challenging, but I think stronger long-term viewpoint in terms of the actual implementation. So that's the next quarter. Yeah, so like question here about, Glow is not publicly available yet. But what can early adopters, the community, do to stay involved? Yeah, so social media is the first place. Follow us there. Keep in the loop on what we're doing. Uh, Discord, we have a Discord, participate there. I really think the community and ecosystem and early adopters will provide a lot of good information in terms of kind of like the product feedback phase. Like, let us know, like, early on, we're building this money, this form of money that's not denominated anywhere. But if there's projects you're aware of, maybe you're building something in crypto and DeFi, maybe you're thinking about starting a DAO, all those things are places we want to have conversations and understand, like, where can we build utility and where do people see utility in a stable coin that might not be something that's entirely obvious right now. Like, the standard place where you see a lot of stablecoin usage is on exchanges as the right side of a pair, like everything's denominated in a US dollar stablecoin. But I think as solutions and products build around blockchain and stablecoins as settlement payments, I would love to interact with the community and early adopters on ideas and how we could use that. So that's, yeah. If people want to build around our stablecoin, I'd be super appreciative of that. That's the whole goal. Yeah, question. So on transparency, attestation, auditing front, yeah, the goal here is, I keep emphasizing trust is really important, especially in the more recent environment. We keep, our finances, how we operate our processes are being prepared and documented and practiced in a way that a big four audit firm could come in and audit. So that is not an easy lift. It's basically you have to be operating in a fashion and document it in a fashion where it's very transparent. It's a robust process in terms of checking where money flows and how expenses get processed. All those things are something we really want to focus on. That's for the organization. So putting a lot of information, like putting a lot of effort into organizational strength and the ability to be audited, and having a big four come in and say, like, this is how it looks like a Fortune 500 company with the processes in place, because that's going to help us build a lot of trust. We don't want anybody to question how the organization runs. We don't have any incentive as a nonprofit, especially for leadership and management, to cut corners or take risks with decisions we make. Even like if we have collateral, there's no incentive for us to be riskier than just trying to earn interest for a basic income. On the attestation side, we are still exploring how we can make that as transparent as possible. I think we did mention exploring some real-time attestation products in the past. We are seeing those offerings come back to the market a little bit, so we'll explore those. There's also solutions like Chainlink has a proof of reserves. We're still kind of grappling with what's the best way to early on provide attestation information to the market. There are traditional audit companies that could do like a monthly or even weekly, daily type of attestation, which we'll engage with. But we are putting together a lot of the infrastructure in place for us to provide that information and be really transparent about it. So a lot of moving parts for a very simple product. We're just making money, but as a organization trying to get this to the market, there's a lot of things about building trust that we're really focused on. All right, yeah, we'll wrap up here, but definitely reach out to us. I think the community is great, and we're seeing awesome traction with the early adopters. So happy to hear any ideas. And I'm just thinking more about the educational materials. I want to put some more thought into that because we do want to get more people involved in crypto overall. So if that's a way we can do it, that'd be fantastic. So, okay, thanks for the time. Thanks for the questions, and we'll see you next time.